Hello and welcome to the latest live action from the Women's Super League, and it comes from the very top and very bottom of the English table. Birmingham City on the brink of relegation against Chelsea on the brink of retaining their title. This is what has already happened across the course of this latest and nearly last Women's Super League weekend. Thumping win for Manchester City over Brighton and Hove Albion. Manchester United have done what they needed to do in the battle for third by beating West Ham today. A big point, crucially perhaps, for Leicester City after a long losing streak. They got a 0-0 draw with Reading earlier. Arsenal did what they had to do to keep the title race going. Technically speaking, it could have been over today, but they beat Aston Villa, and comfortably, as you can see, 7-0. A little later on tonight, it's Everton versus Tottenham, and right now, it's the match we're about to watch between Birmingham and Chelsea. That victory for Arsenal, as you can see, taking them back to within a point. It's been like that for a little while now since Chelsea played their games in hand, with Chelsea having been in behind the Gunners for quite a long time. Manchester City still favourites to get that third and final Champions League spot. And that Leicester point earlier today, taking them 5 clear of Birmingham at the bottom. Remember, only one goes down. And that one still looks likely to be Birmingham, but they did get their second win of the season last weekend at Brighton. A tiny bit of hope where they'd previously seen none. The other victory, by the way, was against Arsenal here at the start of the year. The miracle escape is at least a possibility still, but further miracles required for Birmingham here. They face Chelsea today, Man City in midweek, and they finish with a derby against Villa. 5 points from 9. Might yet see them stay up, but that's a very big ask. The reason they're even in that position, though, is because they beat Brighton away last weekend. That was Sarri with the opening goal just 7 minutes in for Birmingham, and that became 2-0 when Louise Quinn did that with 15 to play. Brighton made it game on again 10 minutes later. Julia Olma striking there, but 4 minutes after that, Quinn again on the mark for 3-1 and a first win in more than 3 months. Well, clearly it's been a slog of a season. They just about stayed up last term against all the odds under different management, but with a much changed dressing room. The issues have continued, which is why they are where they are. 15 defeats from 19 games played. No such issues, of course, for Chelsea. Going brilliantly again under Emma Hayes. Right from day one, when they began the defence of their title with defeat at Arsenal, they've been striving to stay with the Gunners, and sure enough, they have overtaken them. And a relentless spring has seen them win 9 games in a row coming into this. 7 in this league, 2 in the Cup. And one of them was a 5-0 victory over their hosts today, Birmingham City. Last time out for Chelsea was the second of 2 meetings with Tottenham in quick succession. They struggled past them with 10 the game before. This one started well enough with Bethany England scoring 19 minutes in, but there was Keris Harrop right on half-time, equalising at Kingsmeadow for Tottenham. And then Pernilla Harder, what a delicious cross for Sam Kerr. Incomparable. 18 in 18 in this league this season, Sam Kerr. It's an incredible record, and almost up to the 21 she managed last term. She may well overtake it. 16 wins from their 20 played. This and Manchester United next week. If they win them both, it doesn't matter what Arsenal do. Chelsea will be champions again. So all set to go at St Andrews. The pressure on Birmingham and on Chelsea. The home fans here, more in hope than expectation. trailing Leicester by 5 points, but not incidentally on goal difference, which could, in theory, still be a factor. But Birmingham somehow need to get 5 points. And that's a huge ask anyway, given their form and their season. But when you consider the games they've got, Chelsea, City and Villa, if Leicester managed to get a point at Tottenham next weekend, the final weekend, they only have 1 game left, then they would actually need 6 points, Birmingham. So realistically, they can afford to lose 1 if they win the other 2, or they're going to get a win and 2 draws. It's a very long shot, but they do at least have hope. And some of them will have been here, as we look at the Chelsea fans, who came with the hope of maybe even retaining their crown today. I'm sure some of the Birmingham fans, many of them, were inside St Andrews for the New Year victory over Arsenal. No one expected that. Somehow they need to summon that spirit and do it all again. Nine wins running for Chelsea since they lost the League Cup final to Manchester City. Believe it or not, it's the 2nd time they've had a 9-game winning streak. The last one ended for Emma Hayes at 9, albeit that was against Juventus in the autumn and not Birmingham City. But it's been nip and tuck between the Blues and the Gunners at the top. They've rarely played at the same time, so either their gap has been closed or one's gone above the other, then the other's had the chance to go back above them, and they've done it. It was very much the same with Manchester City and Chelsea last season. So little left of what has been a real thrill of a WSL season, and we still don't know who'll be wearing the crown. 6 more points for Chelsea and they keep it. Arsenal will wait and hope for a slip, either here or perhaps more realistically when Chelsea play Manchester United next weekend. You wouldn't expect Chelsea's slip to come away at the division's bottom side, but then nor did Arsenal expect that in January. Remains their only loss on the road this season, Arsenal, but it's a result which might well prove decisive. Arsenal left praying for a second bolt of Blues lightning against the champions here in the Midlands this evening. We'll check on the team news here. Perhaps not surprisingly, it's an unchanged Birmingham 11, having done the job last time out against Brighton. Lucy Witt is back on the bench, but otherwise the team is the same. The captain, Louise Quinn, has played every minute this season, and she's the top scorer. She will be charged with stopping the Blues attack today, or the Blues in yellow, I should say. Birmingham with the Blues today. As for Chelsea, 3 changes, 1 in goal. And Katrin Berger comes straight back in following suspension. In defence, Niamh Charles replaces Jonna Andersson. And in midfield, Jessie Fleming starts with Erin Cuthbert dropping to the bench. All sorts of quality options on that Chelsea bench. Youngsters mainly for Birmingham. Patricky Sarri having her name called out. She's their main forward, and we know that Sam Kerr is Chelsea's. Extraordinary record. Not just a lot of goals, but big ones too. That winner against Tottenham in midweek. She got the goal that made it 2-1 against Tottenham in the game before that. She got the late winner against Aston Villa in the 90th minute to pinch it 1-0. And she's part of a rich and varied attack that Birmingham are going to have to deal with. Darren Carter knows he's up against it big time here, and he needs a miracle. And Emma Hayes is not going to be in the mood for doling out favours. Chelsea have become a relentless winning machine. First title in 2015. Around then, Birmingham were one of the bigger names in this division. They still are in a sense, but not because of their achievements of late. Four points from 6 Birmingham have just taken. That's half their season's tally. Incredible. A 0-0 draw with Everton, and then that win over Brighton last weekend. The game before that was a 5-0 defeat to Chelsea in the FA Cup. Belief and spirit is one thing. Will it be enough? The chances are no. But anyone can have an off day. If Birmingham can play as well as they did against Arsenal here in January, well, who knows? There's only just about room for one more twist. Chelsea play this, Arsenal play Tottenham in midweek. And then, of course, everyone plays at the same time on the final day next Sunday. It's Jesse Fleming. And the Canadian midfielder again. Looking for Sam Kerr, who closes down quickly. There's Murray. Experienced Scottish international. Going to be getting through a lot of work in that Birmingham midfield. Those 9 straight wins since losing to Man City in the League Cup final for Chelsea have yielded 34 goals. The aggregate score in those 9 games, 34-3. The promise maybe for Birmingham here, as it's clipped forward by Murray. The first touch for the returning Berger. Red carded against Tottenham. The team managed to do the job without her. Huge relief for the German keeper. He's back in today. It has, more often than not in recent weeks, lost her place to Zecira Musovic. Jesse Fleming foul, Chelsea getting on with it. What they've done really well during this run-in, although they've had a couple of tight ones, but generally speaking, they've often scored early, been on the front foot early and had their underdog opposition up against it from early on. Let's see if they can do it again here. Jess Carter, a loose ball, carrying firmly. Ingle. It's a foul on Pernilla Harder. Sophie Ingle. Harder pointing where she wanted it. She's got it now. Great chance. The sort of chance she would expect to take. And it's quite the shock that the ball's not in the back of the net. Pernilla Harder, what an opportunity for yet another one of those early goals I was just talking about. She wanted it then, you could see her pointing. The gap was still there though. Ingle found her. Harder couldn't find the corner. That is a great opportunity and a real waste. She has got 15 across the season in the competitions. Pernilla Harder, former UEFA Player of the Year, superstar of the women's game. More out than in with injuries in it. A frustrating spring spell. Cleared long by Emily Ramsey, the Birmingham keeper, who I'm sure is expecting a busy day today. Hurried clearance by Scott. Wrighton, Kerr. Here's England trying to get turned, and Chelsea trying to turn that screw early. Wrighton. Oh, Ramsey. Nearly. This must have been close to over the line, you know. Everyone had a good look at the assistant. Bethany England waiting for if anything was dropped. This was close. Oh, goodness me. Looking cool enough, but I bet the heart was beating for a moment there. Made some really good saves at 1-0 up last weekend to keep that lead they had against Brighton. Emily Ramsey. Kerr has won that header brilliantly. Brighton. Kerr takes over. Oh, what a shot! It's a rocket off the crossbar. Chelsea have started like champions here. 5 minutes, unrelenting pressure. The top scorer in this division, very nearly adding another there. Cracking shot from Sam Kerr. Ramsey was beaten. Three short of last season's tally, Sam Kerr, with 2 league games to go. Can't afford to give it away cheaply, and Finn did there. It's Guro Wrighton, who's gone up a gear in these last few weeks. He's going through the gears here as well. Good cross in towards Bethany England. This is the problem when you face Chelsea. They can get you down the flanks, they can get you through the middle, they can go long, they can go short. Niamh Charles with the throw. Here's Pernilla Harder. It's almost as if Chelsea are impatient, and not in a bad way. It's as if they're coming out with their lives depending on it here. Pouring all over Birmingham in these opening minutes. Harder. Excellent challenge coming in there from Lisa Robertson. Now, Triki Sari. V, as they call her here. Overrunning it, the Greek. Scored a super early opener in the win at Brighton. And the 2-0 goal in that win here over Arsenal, as we get another look at Guro Wrighton surge forward. Did so well to get across that good in from that angle at pace. Here's the Norwegian again, in towards Kerr. Finds the target via a little flick off Scott, but the flag is up against Sam Kerr. Going to be the top scorer in this division again. Even though Vivianne Miedemar got a couple more today. Kerr 4 clear. Arsenal with 2 to play. Chelsea with this and 1 more themselves. She's got another 6 in the various cup competitions for Chelsea as well, plus a whole heap of goals for Australia in the various international breaks. It's been another stellar season of finishing. Lucy Quinn running the channel, Jess Carter beat her to it. It's Abby Cowie. Just got herself into this side. Abby Cowie, overhit cross there. Sophie Ingle here. Perhaps one of the least celebrated externally of the Chelsea players, but so often the midfield glue for Emma Hayes. Happy to fill in the back three or in the midfield two. Jess Carter allowed to come out. Wrighton again. Her position was under threat at the beginning of this season, Guro Wrighton. She's made herself undroppable generally. Jess Carter, during the back end of last season, got herself in as a regular, having previously pretty much never been. She made her name here as a teenage regular for Birmingham. Now back trying to bite the hand that once fed. Ingles header forward. Cleared long by Quinn and brought down by Millie Bright. Ball has been dispossessed by Harder. Now by Quinn. Now Pennock. These are the moments they've got to try somehow to keep the ball. Don't think that's going to go out of play, is it? It just is. For a moment, Cowie was off there. Just broken into the side, Abby Cowie, and maybe she's the lucky mascot. Her 2 starts before today, in the last 2 games. They got a draw and a win. So even though they've been losing all season long, it's not a feeling she knows in terms of out there on the field. Not yet, anyway. Pennock on the spin. Carter will leave it for Millie Bright. Solid challenge. Pennock on Fleming. By Bright into Bethany England. Millie Bright telling Neve Charles to go home to Berger. Heck of a first season for Louise Quinn. Former Fiorentina and once upon a time Arsenal player as well. Not missed a minute, Louise Quinn. When the central of the back three is the club's top scorer, you know there's a problem. No one else has got more than 2. Comfortable header, unchallenged there for Millie Bright. Given away too cheaply by Birmingham. Even in moments like this, it's to give their defence a rest, keep a bit of possession. Carter under some pressure here. Robertson. Neve Charles got the challenge in. Lovely way to pass for Pernilla Harder. Options for the Dane. Right into her left. Here she is. It's dangerous. It's wide. Such an attacking threat since Emma Hayes went to the wing-backs last season as a default setting, not always, but mostly. But Wrighton has become absolutely key to it. A regular player in previous years, since coming from Lillestrøm, but kind of in and out, half subs, half starts. Not anymore. Started all but 4 of their games this season, played in all but 1 of them. Bethany England. Carter to the captain, Der Eriksson. Away by Lawley. Up by Murray. Can they make it stick when it goes up there, though? Surrey wasn't quite able to do it there. Darren Carter, how are you going to negotiate 5 or 6 even, maybe, points out of 9? Good luck. Well, at least it's possible. Neatly done by Lucy Quinn. There's Bright with the header. Kerr waiting for the runners. Sophie Ingle. Speaking of waiting for runners, Robertson was doing the same there. And the domestic double is on again for Emma Hayes. (2015, 2018, and last year. Crossfield ball from England finds Guro Wrighton. That's an ambitious hit. Millie Bright has never had a season for Chelsea without scoring. All the way back to 2015, her first campaign. But she hasn't yet scored in this, despite incidentally playing and being the only one to play in every single one of their league games, but she's not scored in Cup or Europe either. Running out of time, Millie Bright. That was ambitious. A reminder that to join the ATA football community and access more women's football content, matches and highlights, don't forget to visit atafootball.com. Be sure to let us know where you're watching today's game and any of your thoughts by tweeting us with the hashtag #WatchWithATA. England with the flick on. Scott under pressure. Offside flag up. Not allowed much time on the ball, are they, at all in that midfield, Birmingham? Another example there with Robertson just forced to hook it out anywhere, almost will do. Finn, back to Quinn. Got a bit lucky. Harriet Scott. Well, for 7 or 8 minutes, Chelsea were banging on the door very hard. And you felt like it was inevitable that a goal would come. And they've managed to just calm the storm a little. They're still on the back foot, of course, Birmingham, but they've right now got to the halfway point of this first half. And that's a mini milestone. In relative terms, they could be pleased with. Chelsea have just gone a little quiet. Most of them played on Thursday night. And Sam Kerr's fine header got the winning goal. Now, what's just been spotted there in terms of the analytics? Rare touch here for Berger at the other end. Not much defending for them to do yet. There was a similarly dominant display happening yesterday, and Man City got caught a couple of times by Brighton. Now Birmingham coming forward here. Murray with the shot. Now Finn. Birmingham have a corner. And up comes the captain, Louise Quinn, wearing number 4 there, whose head has been responsible for 3 goals from positions such as this term. Now she makes a move, all about the quality of delivery. It's decent, it's right in there. That was a very crowded 6-yard box as the bodies tumble. Millie Bright should clear. No messing about there. And the whistle has gone. And Katrin Berger bang in the face by the looks of it. undisputed #1 at Chelsea for a long time, Ann-Katrin Berger, with the medals to prove it. She's not undisputed anymore. Now in her 4th season, Zecira Musovic has been patient for a year and a bit. On the sidelines playing second fiddle, but in the last few weeks, Musovic has had a run of games. There she is. Jessie Fleming on the charge. Niamh Charles. Plenty of yellow shirts in the box. It's Bethany England. I think she might have had a bang on the head there as well. She's been the one to prosper with starts, Bethany England, in the prolonged absence of Fran Kirby. She's always been a really important player, whether from the start or off the bench, but more starts than subs lately, Bethany England, that's for sure. Barely ever misses a game. 8 goals in the league. 3 more in the FA Cup run. Scored in the Champions League as well. That'll be one of the disappointments for Chelsea this term. There haven't been many, but leading in the League Cup final against Man City but losing it 3-1 was certainly one, and having made the final of the Champions League last term, to not get through their group this time around was definitely a major blow. It has to be said, a tough group with Juventus and Wolfsburg in there, and they finished just behind them. Sam Kerr chipping it delicately for Niamh Charles. Did she keep it in? She did. She did not. I take it back. Motion from the assistant to say that ball had gone over the line. The whole of the ball over the whole of the line, remember, whether airborne or otherwise. I think that's a good decision from the official. Birmingham have nearly got to the half-hour mark. Sam Kerr has crashed a shot onto the crossbar. And Ramsey's made a save. Pernilla Harder dragged a great chance wide. Normally in half an hour against a team at the foot of the table, Chelsea would have expected not only to create more than that, but to take at least one of them. Still tons of time to go. But if it's 0-0 at the hour mark or around there, you might just start to get a bit twitchy. That's given away cheaply by Carter. And if they are to save themselves with some sort of miracle, Birmingham have to pounce on rare opportunities like that, because that was one. Bit more composure on the pass. They could have been in one-on-one. Harder. Trying to kill a ball through the middle to Kerr. It's a chunky challenge coming in on Jessie Fleming there. Ingle, Harder. Lovely pass. Here's Niamh Charles. Kerr at the far post. Deflection on the cross. Out it goes. Nicely worked. Here's Sarri. Sarri there trying a very delicate touch, and there wasn't much room for it. Quinn rather. Never present, Lucy Quinn. And started all but 2 for Birmingham. With only one club going down, the real kicker for them is losing the 2 games to Leicester City. For a little while, Everton were in danger of flirting with contention in terms of relegation, but it's really been about Birmingham, who just avoided it last season, and Leicester, who came up for the first time at the end of last season. But a huge point to give them a little extra bit of cushion. Leicester today drawing 0-0 at home to Reading. That was after they'd lost 6 in a row. Chelsea went to the East Midlands and scored a joint record 9 in thrashing them. Just makes a difficult Birmingham job even more difficult. Chance here for Lisa Robertson. Thought about a longer throw. Sarri always offering runs. Oh, shouts for handball there against Millie Bright. Chelsea haven't dealt with this. They have now, but rather scrappily. Plans to begin introduction of VAR in the WSL next season. Be worth another look. Sophie Ingle trying the long ball forward. They've done a good job so far, Birmingham, defensively. They'll be thinking, can we get to half-time? Millie Bright into Kerr. Now Fleming. Kerr again. Guro Wrighton is the ball. Sophie Ingle saw it beautifully and played it beautifully. Wrighton stands it up. Fleming! In and amongst the crowd of bodies. I think the final touch was hers. Not really known for her goals, Jessie Fleming. She has just scored a couple of absolutely brilliant goals in recent weeks, though. She remains such a danger from the left, right. Maybe it wasn't far out enough for Jessie Fleming. Great goal against Tottenham from a long way out. And she scored the 9th of those 9 away at Leicester a couple of weeks back. The goal of the season contender, that. Lovely finish from her on the end of a stunning Chelsea move. Ingle just off with her pass for Wrighton there. Fleming to Bright. Flag up against Sam Kerr, so it won't be a corner. She looks bemused. Maybe just the shoulder. Tight call. It's gone against the Aussie forward. Announced this week as the Football Writers Association Player of the Year. Can't really argue with that. A goal a game in this division. And it's not like that's all she does. Makes plenty. Just the kind of regular goal scorer that turns up and poaches goals, but you don't see them for the rest of the game. Always involved in it. The card is out for the first time here. Emily Heaslip has booked Abby Cowie for that pull on Guro Wrighton. That's going to make a tough assignment on that flank even harder for the youngster. Difficult enough to mark Guro Wrighton at the best of times, but when you now can't make any form of desperate challenge, perfect behaviour required. Solid header from Quinn. Look at the distance on that. Wrighton's missed it. Here's Sarri. He's held that very well. Now the need to find a teammate, and she has. Lucy Quinn, back to Sarri. Pennock is in the middle. There's a lot of yellow shirts retreating in a hurry. Lucy Quinn. Goal kick. There's been, I make it, 3 nearly moments where Birmingham look like they just might be able to get in. Just 8 points though. Drew at West Ham in October. And against Everton a month ago. Beat Arsenal here 2-0 in January, as I mentioned, and of course Brighton last week. They've lost every other league game, crucially, including 2 against Leicester. Flip round the corner, and Jessie Fleming is here. Finn on the spin, desperately trying to stop that being a corner, but the clearance has gone the wrong side of the flag for her. It will be a Chelsea corner. 9 minutes left in this first half. And a frustrating half so far, really, for the champions and league leaders. The maths is such that any form of slip allows Arsenal to take control of destiny, whether it's a defeat or a draw. Pretty simple maths. 2 wins for Chelsea, they're champions again. Anything less than that, and Arsenal will be champions if they win both. Just watch for the run of Millie Bright here. Emily Heaslip is watching something else in the moment. Harriet Scott getting the talking to on the goal line. Corner is short into Bethany England. Curious cross, trying to catch everyone out, or just a miss hit? Happy to take her time. All respite welcome, you'd think, for Birmingham here. And there's no doubt who'll be the happier with this so far. Bottom, frustrating top. And Bottom have a corner. Sarri's going to take it for Birmingham. Runners coming from late and from deep. Berger didn't really get there. Sophie Ingle clears it. Finn. Excellent closing down there from Jessie Fleming. It'll be another Birmingham corner. That was awkward in there. So we hit the final 5-minute mark. Just look at this. Berger amongst the bodies. connect as much with Quinn as anyone else, or Millie Bright actually, possibly on the receiving end. That could have fallen anywhere. Quinn makes her move. It's a terrible corner though, straight at Jessie Fleming. That's unforgivable. It's a free ball into the box like that. Many have stayed forward though. That's a better delivery. Again Berger comes. That could go anywhere as well. It's pinball in the Chelsea box. Slightly frantic defending. And Chelsea dropping like flies, and relieved to hear the whistle go here. It's a bold bit of keeping to come through a crowd that big, you know. Bold is one way of saying it. Maybe risky. Maybe even outright dangerous. Good little spell to end the half this for Birmingham. She's been maybe a little busier than she would have expected, and Ramsey perhaps not quite as much so. Charles taken out by Robertson. It was fair enough to go for that. It's a yellow card. Seems perhaps a little harsh for Lisa Robertson. In fairness, she's pretty much trying to pull up there, but she's had her name taken. Just too much on it for Niamh Charles. And the frustration continues for Chelsea. 2 minutes left plus stoppage time, and no way through yet for the league leaders. It's a good idea, wasn't it, from Sophie Ingle? Tough ball to pull off, very nearly. This hit, goal kick, and very quickly Charles trying to feed that throw into the path of Pernilla Harder. Louise Quinn just getting rid as we enter the final minute of this first half. Slice behind, Chelsea have a corner. This would be heartbreaking for Birmingham to concede here. Jessie Fleming's name called as she delivers the corner. Delivers it very poorly indeed. The first 45 are almost up, and that's in keeping with the first half display. I don't think she'll be overly impressed with, to be honest. She's about to have 15 minutes with her players to try and sort it out. We're into the 1 and only minute of first half stoppage time. Got their bodies around the ball again well there, Birmingham. Good squeezing, forces Chelsea back. They won't get it forward now. It definitely won't be time. Now or never for Millie Bright before the half-time whistle. Well, that'll do it. And that is a job, or at least half a job, very well done by Birmingham City. Sam Kerr coming the closest with a wonderful shot that rattled the Birmingham bar. And Katrin Berger has had some slippery moments at the other end. Pernilla Harder might have done better. But in general, Chelsea would expect to do better. Emma Hayes' side have not found a way through at St Andrews. The half-time score is Birmingham 0, Chelsea 0. A half-time change from Emma Hayes in personnel, with Erin Cuthbert coming on for Pernilla Harder, for Bethany England, excuse me. Maybe that might push Pernilla Harder a little further forward, or maybe there's a tweak of shape we don't know about. Pouring rain in the Midlands, and not just a change in personnel, but an upping of the ante required from Chelsea here. Emma Hayes and her side have set the very high standards, and they've certainly not been able to get anywhere near them during the course of this game so far. And credit to Birmingham City for that, clinging on to their top flight status. Chelsea trying to regain control of the WSL title destiny. Trying to do it right from kick-off here. Pernilla Harder was nearly in then. Erin Cuthbert always brings energy, not suggesting Bethany England doesn't. Different sort of player though. Bethany England more a forward player. Erin Cuthbert roving around midfield, tenaciously chasing everything, forward and back. Just maybe something different for Birmingham to think about. Charles back in field to Ingle. Birmingham won't mind Chelsea coming back in field. Now they've got the bodies. It's harder. That's easy pickings, isn't it, for Emily Ramsey? A small pocket of away fans singing "Come on, Chelsea." It's a very big if, but if this was a draw, just to remind you on the maths, they'd be 2 points clear. With a game to play for them and 2 games to play for Arsenal, so it would be back in Arsenal's control. They certainly did their bit today. 7 unanswered goals against Aston Villa. With a couple of thrashings this women's top flight has seen this weekend. Here is Cuthbert. Switching the play for Guro Wrighton. Cowie can't foul her. Remember, she's one of the ones on a yellow card. Harder. 3 in the box. Neve Charles. In by Ingle. And Cuthbert. Tough chance. It's not even close. Chelsea came out like this in the first half, pouring players forward. For the opening few minutes, it seemed inevitable, but then it really slowed down for them. Huge credit to Birmingham for that. Lovely weather in the middle of England. Jessie Fleming here. Wrighton. Magda Eriksson up from the back here, the Chelsea captain. Sophie Ingle trying to make room for the shot. Cuthbert again, deflection. Once more, that central core of Birmingham bodies there, in and around that D. There's just so much traffic to get through. Wrighton. Harder. That's the tweak, isn't it? Apart from Cuthbert going off, or coming on rather, to replace the departing Bethany England. Cuthbert is rightish of Sam Kerr, and Pernilla Harder has gone left. Ingle. Erin Cuthbert. It's off Murray. Chelsea have a corner. did that flick off Erin Cuff, but that's the point that Christy Murray was making there. Hasn't been given that way though. In comes the Chelsea corner. Kerr jumping, Niamh Charles still in there. Sarri gets a little piece of it. They'll do it all again from the corner flag. Up goes Eriksson. Take 3. And still Birmingham stands strong. Just over Millie Bright. Back in by Ingle. Such a crowded penalty box. Chelsea forced all the way back to the halfway line. Here's the former Birmingham Academy graduate, Carter. Now Fleming. She came a long way there, Emily Ramsey. That was risky, got away with it. And a check on Gemma Lawley, who is down. Eriksson did get ahead on that first. I think it was the only touch. The firmer touch was goalkeeper on defender. Lawley is okay. Still feels just on the slack side. From the view of Chelsea, Sarri tries to skip through. Imagine if Birmingham scored. Abby Cowie here under pressure. Gura Wright nearly got the deflection that would have sent her clear. Well, so far so good. Darren Carter will be counting no chickens with only 9.5 minutes of this second half gone. If you're trying to make a case for Birmingham, could they cling on to a point here, do the same against Man City in midweek and then beat Villa? That'd be 5 points. And that'll probably be enough to see them stay up. Leicester have to go away to Tottenham on the final day. They'd be a heavy underdog for that. That really would be an extraordinary escape. Chelsea can score 2 or 3 goals in 5 minutes. No problem at all. They've done it plenty of times this season. But they will become more and more tense the longer this stays 0-0, of course. Still tons of time to go right now. It's just not happening. Lucy Quinn there with a vain chase. Expertly marshalled by Captain Louise Quinn. The Birmingham side have done a good job on Chelsea here thus far. Good take from Erin Cuthbert. Wrighton. Ingle. Harden wasn't expecting that. Excellent take from Quinn. Good control in really tough conditions with plenty around her as well, including Eriksson. And how about this for a pass for Cowie? Oh, it's a big challenge coming in from Cuthbert. And only someone with her industry could have made that possible. She was second favourite when that pass was played. And Chelsea, of course, so locked in on how to go forward and score in this game. They mustn't forget about the back door. Birmingham have got a corner here. Brilliant play in the middle of the park from Lucy Quinn here. Cracking tackle from Erin Cuthbert. Can they muster one good delivery and really put the cat amongst the pigeons in the WSL here, Birmingham? Movement from their four big players who've come forward. It's a good delivery that, and again Berger came. Despite the crowd, she'd be favourite for this one. And the header, well, it wouldn't have counted even if it had gone in. Push on the keeper, I think, and a flag up. She did get a piece of it, Berger. It's actually a decent bit of keeping that. And that's why the flag went up. At least two, maybe three of them. Harriet Scott did just have the bottom of her ankle there, that trodden on. Surprised the boot didn't come off, actually. Those can be very painful. Ronna Anderson, Lauren James coming soon for Chelsea. And Birmingham close to another cliched old milestone of getting to the hour mark. Having done the first 45, that's the next one. Tick them off. You could try and put it at the door of tiredness from Chelsea's point of view, having played a big game and a tight one on Thursday night, but they've got a great squad. Can't be an excuse. Scott with the foul. Chelsea have a free kick here. We'll just wait and see what happens with those Chelsea substitutions. It'll happen after this free kick. It might change the game plan if something happened here. Wrighton looks for Millie Bright, finds the head of Millie Bright, out by Cowie, back in by Fleming, and then Eriksson has smashed that. It looked like, I think the referee's going to have to stop this because it looked like Magda Eriksson's shot has hit Louise Quinn, flush in the face there at first viewing. Just watch as it comes back in here. Oh, yes. One captain absolutely poleaxing the other. Bang. Ouch.
The market supporters that the Birmingham City players will promote the fact that their sports have the match to be sure to grab themselves the autographs with your favourite blues.
Such a brave player anyway, in terms of what you see from her leadership, throwing herself into everything. That might have looked many a player at any level half senseless, but not, it would appear, Louise Quinn. Half an hour feels like a long time. And that clock has a 7 at the beginning of it. This feels like the time to run it. When you need a goal, it feels like the seconds disappear even quicker. Sam Kerr. They have done well to limit her chances today, haven't they? One super shot from 15, 16 yards out that hammered the Birmingham bar. And that's it. Arsenal players and fans watching this, if they are, they can barely believe the scoreline. Hoping against all odds that the seemingly doomed Birmingham can give us another twist. It might be the final and pivotal twist, in it. Lauren James waiting still, and Jonna Andersson. Cowie. Rather aimlessly forward though, back out by Carter. Cuthbert. Good idea. Not quite enough angle on the pass. We get Scott on the cover. And now that double change will be made. Jess Carter off. This must mean a change of shape of some sort from Emma Hayes. We'll get a clue in a minute. Sophie Ingle as well, another defensively minded player. I don't think there's too much surprise in that, because they might as well go all out for it. They've got to win, really, Chelsea. And in all likelihood, the difference for them between drawing this game and losing it doesn't really matter. It's unlikely to affect it. If they win, they'll have another win to be champions, and if they don't win, whether it's a draw or a defeat, it's probably Arsenal's. Here's Harder! That could have gone anywhere. Cowie hacks it clear. Emily Ramsey makes the save and keeps Chelsea at bay and keeps Chelsea frustrated. Andersson straight into the action with a throw. Kerr. Poor clearance back to Sam Kerr. She's pulled her shot. And we're not there yet, but you're just getting to the point where you wonder if the Chelsea players will start to think it's not our day. A rare sight of goal for the top scorer in this division. And it's not anywhere near the target. This was. It's a decent save, that, from Ramsey. It could easily have fallen to a yellow shirt. It fell to a blue one instead. Good take from Quinn. She's held it well there. Cheeky chip forward from Christy Murray. Eriksson forced back by Sarri, who's got it here. There's a ball on and she's played it into Pennock. It'll be a goal kick. Can Lauren James make the difference in this reshuffled Chelsea side, I wonder? Barely had a look in her debut season, having come across from Manchester United, Lauren James. Injury kept her out for much of the first half of the season. Finally got her first goal off the bench in the thrashing, not so far from here at Leicester. Chelsea needing a hero here. Guro Wright with the cross. It's a good one, a real teaser. But out of play it goes.
Substitution for Birmingham. Please show your appreciation for number 32, Abby Cowie.
Abby Cowie is going off. The right wing back who was on a card, and I just wonder if that might be a factor. She's had to get through a fair bit of running.
Please, for her replacement number 19, Lucy Whip.
Lucy Whip wasn't fit to be on the bench last time. She's on here. Pennock is the other player to be making way.
And coming on for January, number 12, Libby Smith.
There's Libby Smith, who scored in both games against Arsenal this season. Libby Smith. That's a pretty fine achievement. Those are her 2 goals, incidentally. Not sure if Darren Carter has thrown her on for goals here or just fresh legs to try and preserve what would be an oh-so-precious point. It would be 5 points out the last 9 available. It will keep them afloat. For now, anyway. Suddenly, 3/4 of this game has gone. It's still 0-0. Nobody would have had this nowhere. Travelling support doing their bit. I wonder how many of them were at Goodison Park when the men were beaten by a goal to 0 earlier. I wouldn't have expected to see both their teams shut out on the same Sunday, that's for sure, but right now that is the case. Here's Lauren James. Surely Chelsea will find a breakthrough. Jessie Fleming, nothing doing there. Remember, they lost on the opening day, 3-2 at Arsenal. And for most of the season, having played a game or 2 fewer, the Hazelnuts side have just been winning to keep on the coattails of the Gunners. Then when the games in hand finally got played and were won, they nipped themselves in front. 9 straight wins coming into this game. And this is against the bottom side in the division. Surely. Eriksson. A few weeks ago, I had one against Birmingham's rivals Aston Villa. 90th minute, Sam Kerr got the 1-0 winner. Harder, sliding it through for Anderson. Desperate defending again. Sarri can't keep it. Got a good cross on her, Jonna Anderson. Needs one now. And that is a good cross. They're screaming for handball. It's a penalty. 70 minutes of dogged defending from Birmingham. But the blow of a whistle and the point to the penalty spot might be about to bail Chelsea out here. It's Robertson who had the arm up. She couldn't know anything about it. It is above her head. It feels a little harsh. Equally, you can see why Emily Heaslip has given it. It's a devastating blow, potentially, this for Birmingham. But now they need Emily Ramsey to step up. Pernilla Harder. Massive moment, 20 minutes to go, big deep breath. And she's rolled it in. And of all the hundreds of fine goals that Chelsea have scored over the last couple of seasons, that feels like as big a one as any of them. Finally, they find a way through. And they're back in control of the WSL destiny. 1-0, Harder from the spot, 20 to play. And you can't help feel a little sorry for Birmingham. There's certainly no intention to handle it, but that's not the point. Now, having done all that defending, they've got to try and threaten at the other end now, Birmingham. And maybe keep it tight for 10 and then go hard. Lisa Robertson will feel desperately disappointed at that call from Emily Heaslip. It's a big one. She had a good sight of it. And it's not as if her arms were out by her sides, they're up diagonally above her head. On balance, I think you'd have to say it is a penalty. Imagine the relief for Emma Hayes. She'll wait for the ball to come back here. So that changes the picture again, and the gap is 4. And that changes it entirely from the point of view of title destiny. When it was 2 points, it was in Arsenal's hands. At 4 points, it's in Chelsea's. Tell you what, though, they'll have to play better than this against Manchester United next weekend if they're to win that one. Ambitious hit from there, a rare strike goalwards. Surrey got their opener last weekend. The Greek has 1 in the cup to go with her 2 in the league. Four nils and 5-0s, 6s and 9 the other day. This scruffy 1-0 might just be the key to it all for Chelsea. Lauren James here. That's a nice way to pass. Here's Sam Kerr. Right in the middle. Harder joining her. Jonna Anderson here. Such a difficult evening. They dearly love the cushion of a second. If they don't technically need it. Another good block coming in, this time from Lucy Whip. Didn't go out of play. Hard work from Lauren James. So did to try and slide it down the channel as well for Kerr. James again. Dispossessed. Lawley. Final 15 of the normal 90. Chelsea just in charge here. Happy to eat up some clock with this. Maybe even try and draw Birmingham out a little bit. Closing on 10 wins in a row, 8 of them in the WSL. Out by Ramsey. Back it comes. Erin Cuthbert here, who has typically added energy and drive, as we'd always expect her to. Blocks are still coming in bravely from Birmingham. Got to get some bodies forward though. Sarri here. That's a foul. Plenty forward for this long ball. Captain's header out from Magda Eriksson. She's just let that one bounce, but good judgment from the skipper. And a hoofing clearance was turned into a great pass for Pernilla Harder. Drew Spence coming shortly by the looks of things. Followed by Anderson White with the header. Quinn just enough on it, back to Ramsey. I suspect at half-time the messages would have been going round the Arsenal players. Have you seen this? It's 0-0. They'd have been watching. If not from the beginning, then maybe from at some point during it, and then the crushing moment when the penalty was awarded and was scored. Such fine margins. Every chance that, with there having been basically a point or two between them all the way, that it will be 1 point to separate them at the end of the season too. Erin Cuthbert now. Birmingham have got to get the ball, and they've got to have the legs to support the attacking players when they can get it forward, if they can get it forward, if they can get it off Chelsea. Pernilla Harder keeps it. There is a way by which goal difference could come into it for Birmingham, but they might as well go for it here if they end up conceding a second. They've actually got better goal difference than Leicester. Unlikely as it may sound, let's say they lose this, win the other two, and Leicester draw at Spurs on the final day, it would go down to goal difference. Now here's a gift. Here's Sarri. Huge moment for Birmingham here. Didn't slide it through for Libby Smith when she had the chance, and it was a tired shot at the end of it, blocked by Millie Bright. You just don't get that many chances that you can spurn them so easily when they do come. Wrong decision. Vertriki Sarri. They've still got a few players forward here, Birmingham. That's a free kick to Chelsea. We're into the final 10. A reminder that to join the Atta football community and access more women's football content, matches and highlights, just visit attafootball.com. Well, Pernilla Harder departs as the crucial match winner in waiting here. Her penalty has Chelsea on course for probably the least spectacular, but equally most important win of the campaign to date. The long-serving Drew Spence is her replacement, one of the few remaining original title winners from back in 2015, still with the club, with Millie Bright, Ji So-yeon, and the currently unavailable Fran Kirby. Ball's at the wrong end of the field for Birmingham City here. Still so tenacious in all the tackles. Sarri gonna need support. Erin Cuthbert has energy like very few others. Couldn't have had more distinct victories if this is to be one for Chelsea and Arsenal today. Do let us know where you're watching today's game. Share your thoughts by tweeting us with the hashtag #WatchWithAtta. Question being asked there at Atta Football. Thoughts on the penalty? Certainly no such issues for Arsenal. 7 goals scored. And they had a big hope for a long while against all the odds here. If Chelsea keep the ball, Chelsea will keep it all in their own hands. Onside, Kerr here. Spence is in the middle, and she won't get there. I can't help but think if Birmingham could have defended this well for greater periods of this season, that they would be in a far better position than they are. Good decision, I think, by the assistant there. Bang level by the looks of it. And another important defensive header. Scott and a colleagues back there, Quinn and Lawley and co, they really have been good. But they're staring at the prospect now of having to win both the games they've got left, Birmingham. That's Man City in midweek, who've won 19 of their last 21 games. And then more winnably, back in the second city, Villa Park on the final day. Maren Mjelde coming on for Chelsea here. The final change from the Emma Hayes bench, and one that underlines the strength of squad available to Emma Hayes. Maren Mjelde, a well-decorated champion, brilliant player in her own right. And has barely had a look in this season on her return from injury. Been a long wait. Injured in the League Cup final of last season. Well, her ratio has dipped beneath the goal again. 18 in 19, Sam Kerr, and only a couple of chances to add to that today. She won't care though. She wants another winner's medal. Mjelde is her replacement with 5 minutes to go plus stoppage time. Unfortunately, Sir Robertson making way here. Didn't know anything about that handball. Emily Whelan is on for Birmingham. One of that big Irish contingent within Birmingham City, Emily Whelan. Four minutes plus stoppage time. Lauren James with the Chelsea header. Took that much effort in Birmingham that always looks like there are more Chelsea players on the field than there are for Birmingham in these latter stages. Guro Wrighton clipping it forward. Lauren James with the back heel, nicely done. Wrighton onside. And a measure of how desperate they are just to cling on to this, that Chelsea are doing the corner flag thing. Or at least trying to. It's a throw. Jonna Anderson is across to take it. She'll still be a bit worried. She would have been far more. The double is on. No treble. Losing that League Cup final to Man City. They play them at Wembley on May the 15th. Chance for some cup final revenge there between two of the most informed sides you will find anywhere in the game, certainly in England. Winning machines generally by a lot more goals than this, but this has been a tight one for sure. It looks at the moment like one scuffy penalty is going to be all that separates top and bottom in the WSL. And that in itself is something of an achievement. Darren Carter, I'm sure, will be extremely impressed and proud of his side's performance here, but they're going to need to win both of their remaining games to stay up. Beating Villa with this sort of performance, entirely possible. Beating Man City, well, for starters, this will have taken a lot out of them. City had a cruise yesterday and smashed 7 goals past Brighton. Anderson throw goes into Lauren James. He's got to shout for another penalty there. Referee Emily Heaslip was close enough to see it well. Spence just still in front here. You have seen penalties given for those, no doubt about it. She didn't get the ball. With VAR, that's a penalty. She did have an anxious look around, Christy Murray. Stand up for the champions is the Chelsea chant. That's awkward. And Berger, I would say, as much by luck as judgment, ends up with the ball gratefully clutched, because this was slippery. Sarri's ball in here. She didn't know much about that, Ann-Katrin Berger. She has just palmed it onto Maren Mjelde. It could have dropped for Quinn. 4 added minutes, and we're into the first of them now.
At a time sponsored by the Impact Army.
Goal kick. Fleming. And again Fleming. James nodding it on for Drew Spence. They might as well chuck everyone forward and try and steal a point here, Birmingham, because it does make a difference. Whereas losing 2-0 rather than 1 wouldn't really. If they could somehow steal a point here, it means they could be safe with a draw and a win in their final 2 games rather than 2 wins, which is what they're going to currently need as it stands. Jessie Fleming's got the ball for Chelsea. header from Eriksson. Power and the distance on that. 2.5 to play. Sarri. Birmingham ball. And again, 15-20 yards further up. There's time for a twist. Is there the quality? Someone get a crossing. Livy Smith tries. It's a corner. Birmingham fans cross their fingers. Arsenal fans likewise. Can Chelsea see it out? It's not a bad corner. This is worth a hit! It's another corner. Emily Whelan sees the shot tipped over by Ann-Katrin Berger. And quite literally, that could be the title right there. May have been going just over anyway, but there's no way Berger could take that risk. 2 or 3 Chelsea players went for that. And that's so poor. Lack of composure, I'm afraid, from Lucy Wick. Just help it back in net. We're into the final minute of stoppage time. And Katrin Berger has been cautioned for time wasting. I don't care about that. Final seconds now, although there was a little bit of time wasting in it. Can Birmingham get the ball? No, it's a foul by Harriet Scott, who is cautioned for it, and that will surely be that. What an effort it's been by Birmingham. And Chelsea have found a way, it would appear. Millie Bright just chips it for the corner flag. Relief as much as pleasure, I think, for Emma Hayes and Chelsea. What a game Darren Carter's Birmingham have given the league leaders. Dare we call them champions in waiting. It took them 70 minutes to find a way through. One penalty from her, Pernilla Harder. The only difference in the end between the side at the top and the side at the bottom. It was a real struggle, but it doesn't matter how, it just matters that you get the win, and Chelsea have done it. They keep destiny in their own hands. They have one game left. If they beat Manchester United a week from now, they will be champions again. 1-0 winners, just away to Birmingham City, but what an effort from the hosts.